My husband asked for a divorce after seeing our wedding photos. He was right to do it. Yesterday was supposed to be our 6-month anniversary. Instead, I signed divorce papers and finally admitted the truth I'd been hiding since before I walked down the aisle. We met at a corporate retreat 3 years ago. Hey, Alex from accounting, me from marketing. He was thoughtful, stable, and patient with my anxieties. When he proposed after 2 years, everyone said we were perfect together, except the voice in my head that I kept desperately silencing. The engagement photo should have been my warning. While he beamed at the camera, his arms wrapped around me with absolute certainty. My smile never quite reached my eyes. Wedding stress, I told him when he asked if something was wrong. The morning of our wedding, my maid of honor found me crying in the bridal suite. Cold feet is normal, she assured me, handing me a tissue and a mimosa. But it wasn't cold feet. It was the crushing weight of realizing I was making the biggest mistake of my life paired, and being too terrified to stop it, I walked down the aisle anyway. I said my vows anyway, I smiled. For photos anyway. I danced and cut cake and left for our honeymoon anyway. All while a silent scream built inside me that I refused to acknowledge. I didn't love Alex. Not the way he deserved, not the way a wife should love her husband. For 6 months I played the role of newlywed. I cooked dinner, planned date nights, and slept beside a man I cared for deeply but wasn't in love with. I convinced myself that passionate love was just a myth from movies, that companionship was enough, that I would eventually grow into the feelings I was supposed to have. Then our wedding album arrived. Alex was flipping through it, pointing out favorite moments when he suddenly went quiet. He'd stopped at a photo of us during our first dance pair and his face radiating joy, while mine revealed everything I thought I'd hidden. You look trapped, he said quietly, like you are performing. He started going through the entire album with new eyes, seeing what I'd hoped no one would notice. The hesitation in my posture, the distance in my eyes, the way I seemed to be a spectator at my own wedding. Have you ever been in love with me? He asked. In that moment, I couldn't lie anymore. The truth poured out, how I'd confused respect and fondness for romantic love, how I'd been afraid to disappoint everyone, how I'd hoped my feelings would change after marriage. The pain in his eyes as I spoke will haunt me forever. I would rather be alone than be someone's compromise, he said. The divorce papers arrived 3 days later. Friends tell me I am brave for being honest, but T, here's nothing brave about waiting until after vows were exchanged to admit the truth. Real courage would have been facing everyone's disappointment before the wedding rather than breaking a good man's heart after it. Alex deserved a bride who couldn't wait to be his wife, not one who was acting the part. He deserved someone who looked at their wedding photos and saw the happiest day of her life, not evidence of her greatest deception. Yesterday, as I signed the papers that ended our brief marriage, Alex said something I'll never forget. I hope someday you love someone so much that the thought of settling becomes impossible. The wedding gifts have been returned, the joint accounts divided. All that remains is the album of photographs that revealed what I couldn't say, part to proof that the camera sees what we try to hide even from ourselves. If you are reading this and feeling that same doubt I ignored, please listen to it. The temporary pain of canceling a wedding is nothing compared to the damage of going through with one your heart isn't in. Some mistakes can't be undone with an apology and returned gifts. Some roles shouldn't be played even by the most convincing actors.